I've been working with a car dealership here in Northern Ireland called Shelbourne Motors for years. A mix of photo and video content, but at the end of every year, we try to do a Christmas style video. I mean, look, we're not breaking the mold here. At Christmas time, people do Christmas videos, but each year we sort of try to do something a little bit different in the auto trade market here in Northern Ireland. In the past, we've always done like a Christmas jumper day video. So I'd come down the day where everyone comes in their Christmas jumpers, and it would be a mix of fast cut, trend oriented things. You remember when everyone was throwing grenades in and their whole house was turning into Christmas? A take on that. This year, I suggested we do something a little different. So I came up with a loose idea that I need to storyboard quickly. I wanted to do something that was playful, that was a little bit more like an advert. This is one of those jobs where time and budget is heavily limited. So what can we do in a very short period of time with little to no budget, but make something still fun? So they've gone with me on this one. The gist of the idea is it follows a very simple Christmas morning, people coming down steps, entering a Christmas room, finding their presents and opening up a Matchbox or Hot Wheels, like a little toy car, but it's an adult. An adult goes to work. He meets up with his other friends who also work in a car dealership. They've all got Hot Wheel cars. They're all a little like, what do you get? I got this. And then there's a little shot. And then it ends with this scene of these guys sitting down on the ground. They've got this little car mat. Customer walks in, leans over, looks over the table at them and says, "Excuse me, guys." And then they look up like, "We've been caught." And then he's like, "Room for one more?" Sits down, starts driving about. Our love for cars never grows old. And it's one of those jobs where, like I said, time and budget are at a minimum. So there's gonna be a lot of that'll do to get this job over the line. I wanna make sure it's filmed in that day and edited and delivered within like a day or two of me actually doing it. So storyboard first, and then we'll crack on. All right, let's go. What I'm gonna do is pack gear for tomorrow's shoot. So I've gotta get the balance right between packing light and having the right amount of gear that I need to shoot it. Lens wise, I'm gonna bring a 28 to 135 cinema lens, mostly because the servo zoom option on it is fantastic. I'm bringing a 70mm macro Sigma art lens because we're dealing with these little small toy cars. Shooting on this camera that you're looking at now, which is Sony A7s3 with a 20mm lens on it. 24 to 70 GM lens is in getting repaired at the minute. So I'm sort of jumping between this cinema lens, macro, this 20, a 50mm. It's a bit of a ball ache. And then this piece of shit, which admittedly, I'm not a huge fan of it. It's a 28 to 70 like f4 Sony lens, right? It's just like their standard, I guess their full frame kit lens. It's okay. I was gonna sell it and then I thought I'll just leave it in case something ever happens and I need a backup 24 to 70. And that's exactly the case. It's fine for outside. It's okay indoors, but when you're shooting video on the A7S3 and you can crank the ISO to 12,800 and you're shooting at a shutter of 50, it's actually okay. NPF 550 batteries for the monitor and a panel light if I need it. Microphone wise, I'm gonna bring this, which is the MKE 400. I'm also gonna bring MKE 600 Sennheiser, and probably these because I might need them. What else am I bringing with me? Lights and tripods. Godox VL150. Everything's in there. Wouldn't be the first time I've left without the cable. That makes you think on the spot. Bag of shit. Manfrotto tripod, monopod in case I need it, backup light stand, fold up softbox, additional panel light. I'll bring a Ronin gimbal, and yes, I'm using the original DJI Ronin because I use it like 4 times a year, so I'm not gonna go buy the new one. I hate gimbals on a good day, but you never know, that might come in handy tomorrow. This is the night before, by the way, so I'm gonna pack the shit into the van and I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Nippy this morning. Right. Mid Porter down. Maybe put the little box behind it so there is a little bit of digging. So hopefully like you come down the steps. This is your energy, right? That you need to come bring it up quite quick and then stop quite abruptly. So 3, 2, 1, go for it. Perfect. So you're gonna rummage through on 3, 2, 1, go for it. Oh, that's good. Okay. So you gotta unhook. When you think you've got the end, just keep doing it, and I'll tell you to stop. Right? The super quick hop up and run out of the kitchen. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that works. Right, location 1 done. Like I said, it's a quick shoot. Did that first bit in like 45 minutes, which is not bad. Pretty straightforward video. There's not a lot to really overcomplicate. And the main problem being, which is why the reason I wanted to do that bit first and why I had to get it out of the way, is the rest of the stuff is reliant on staff and showroom availability inside the car dealership, because obviously these guys are working, so we're trying to get them involved in around their working day. Like sometimes you'll go to shoot something with them and they'll be with a customer, and that will just throw a spanner in the works and knock everything off and ruin it. So because of all that stuff, there's just too many variables at play. That bit needed to just be done and dusted so we could spend the rest of the day doing it. The nature of this sort of job is we need to be ready to like change things up at the very last minute. This is where a storyboard is useful, keeping on track. I'm gonna happen of just forgetting to do shots. You can see already we're in here, variables with light, space. You could be in here, we could set this up here perfectly, and then within seconds it could be full of people. It's not the sort of thing you've got full control of, so you do have to work within your limitations, I guess. Guy enters the first showroom, meets up with his mate, exchanges toys, and then boys like, wow, got a toy car for Christmas. What do you get? And then they're gonna start playing it. And then we just need a sequence of people playing with toys. I got a car. What did you get? I got a car too. And we lift them up. And you're like, yes. And that's what I want to hear. Like, yes. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so while we're here, get the 2 cars, touch some tips again. Just got weird at the end there. Some people here don't read emails. Bring a Christmas jumper. Simple question. Can you bring a Christmas jumper? Didn't bother. Bunch of customers there. A lot of variables. We're trying to work around that. And then go. And I want that, like, it's either go fast, slowly, but I want that, like, hyper focus on the toy. When you pop up, right, the idea is that you're looking around for the boss. You're gonna pop up, you're looking around, bang, pop up quickly. No one's about. Cool, get the car up. Go. Need you guys to be this side. I know you just walk in. Which car are you going for, right?
That one.
You have the written one, right? Perfect. Okay. Way slower than
so like that.
Right, yeah. Now move your left hand over there. There you go. And give us some noises. Okay, stay there. Get in. Perfect. Back down towards you. Thanks very much, guys. That's helpful. Well, location 2 done. 20 minutes drive, maybe. So far, so good. A little bit sticky at the start, always is. Obviously, people are busy, they got shit to be doing. I'm swanning in with the camera, but like, this is every month. We go through the same sort of thing. So I'm sort of used to struggles of getting everyone involved, but also I know a lot of them because I've been working with them for a long time. But still, every time you're walking in, I've got to pitch the idea that all the different teams over and over, really enthusiastically, to get their buy-in. So I've got to be like, this is how you have, this is what I want from you on this. Takes it out of you. This is their second premises, location, dealership. We're still going to shoot an outro here. This bit here is where a car, like an actual car, comes out and then flies over the top. I'm not sure I'm going to do that yet, but will work. I'm just going to go with the idea, and then I'll budget professionally in Photoshop. Maybe no After Effects. I think I can do it in Photoshop and Final Cut. Yeah, right down in the middle there. I need a light on it. You want to see the way that light's hitting? You have to be in this shot. Come on. Come on. Right, I've moved camera duties to Ryan temporarily because I'm going to be in this clip. Right, so you're going to be crouching tiger, hidden dragon, down like that. So you can't see Andrew Golf from me. Am I in the way? See some car sound to your mouth there. And now you've been...
Do you still have the EV6, the red EV6?
Right, climb you in there, old fella. Mum. Right, so you're gonna be like, so yeah, the idea is I need loads of childlike enthusiasm, like tons. Do you remember what that was like back in the 60s? The meeting going on, so we've stuck our head into the meeting, and I've said to them, will you take part? I need you all to pretend in the middle of your meeting that you're actually playing the toy cars, and everyone's game for it. Woo! Right.
just in time. Lights dipping, rain's coming down. I mean, we're shooting indoors, so it doesn't really make much of a difference, but that's the shots done now to get to the studio and edit the stuff.
That's straight. I come up with this concept of, you know, a love for cars never grows old. This idea was something that reminded me of my childhood. When I was younger, my brother and I used to spend a lot of time in our, like, with this big playroom thing. And we had these big, like, rubber car mats that had roads and streets and trees and shops and stuff on. We used to roll that out. We had all our little toy cars, sports cars, Jeeps, all that sort of stuff. And we spent hours just lying there driving around these mats. And then we would make dirt tracks out in our garden, and we would make bits that go through Lego blocks and through wood blocks. I mean, forever. We did that so much. So for me, there was always this cool little childhood memory of lying on the ground and having a little car and making all the sounds as it drifts around the corner. One thing is I want to hit on the heartstrings. I want to put a story in front of people, but I also want to bring it back and tie it back to their business of car sales. That adult that comes into work, that works in the car industry now, at heart, there's still the child there that loves cars. I come up with the idea, came up with a loose storyboard pitch to them. Once I get the buy-in from the guys, then I was like, right, here's what I need you guys to do, and here's what I'm gonna do. So then I rocked up on the day and was able to just concentrate on what I wanted to do, which was directing and shooting the style that I wanted to achieve on this. In the studio, flick through the footage, all looks good apart from one clip. I just didn't record. Dropped everything into Final Cut Pro, and I'm gonna go through it and I basically just skimmed it, selected favorites, dropped them into a timeline. Can you see this? All in all, looks pretty good. It's a very linear edit, very linear timeline, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, you know? Record a few sounds. What is all this shit? I've got another computer here for this sort of thing. What I want is this. These sounds do not need to be, they're gonna be quick, so I'm just gonna fucking just hold this like a complete and utter cowboy and record these into Adobe Audition. I need to make car sounds just for some of the dubbing over of the guys, because not everyone was so super excited about having to make childish car noises. So bear with me a second. That's going around the corner, by the way. Breaking into the corner. Also need to record a sentence so I can dub this over. This is not gonna sound great, but... Can I play two? Excuse me. Can I play two? Just gonna do some on the counter here as well. There's a million other mics I could have used for this. This is a studio podcast mic, but it's great for this as long as you have the wee fucking dubber over the back here. And this room's it's carpeted and there's shit in it. The other way I do this quite often, sometimes I'll just record it straight into the camera using a shotgun mic. And then sometimes, it depends on the audio, how important the audio quality is and what it's gonna play. This is just gonna be little background noises. So to be honest with you, I probably could have just done this through my voice app on my phone and it would have been fine. I'm literally gonna drop these into the background and that'll be that. Initially I was gonna have the car fly over this shot, but then it looked a bit shit. So I had shot a backup. I'm gonna end up with just that. It wasn't the ending I initially planned, but it was my backup ending that also works really, really nicely and gets the point across. Because the video's fun and cheerful and lighthearted, but doing it the way I had done with the car, it was tacky. So, because it needed to be like fly off, and the time involved in animating this thing to do correctly and to animate the shot of the car driving away, because I'd shot a backup shot of the car driving off into the distance so that I could animate that and then mask it out. But this is content for the internet. Not only is the internet throwaway content, but Christmas is throwaway content. And we're like fucking 2 weeks out here because we're shooting this in December to go up in December. So I'm gonna send this off to the client and hopefully they're just like, yep, get that on the internet, Dill. Or they'll go, I don't like the music. What's tricky about this is you never know what sort of mood people are going to be in. Because remember, we're not dealing with actors here. We're dealing with people at their 9-to-5 job trying to do something. So I'm just coming in. You don't know what mood they're in. You don't know what has happened during that day. Has everything been going ahead according to schedule? Have they had a good day? Have they had a shit day? So sometimes you're walking in and people are just on fire. Other times you're walking in and people are like, I'm not really in the mood today. And other times people are in the middle of a crisis management and you have to be like, can I just borrow you for 5 minutes to shoot a video about you doing this? And that's when people are like, fuck. So there's days where I walk into these rooms and you can see them just look and go, oh God, Dylan's here to make me do dumb shit. And this year was no different. While everybody has to go through this, for me, it's the tricky part about this job comes from like a mental and emotional side, in that I have to give all of me throughout this entire day to keep people's spirits up. So every time I'm walking in, I'm like, right, are you ready? And then I have to make a judgment character. So then I have to make a judgment call on their character for the day. And then they go, oh, I'm not really feeling it. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm in the middle of dealing with this shit. And then I have to go, right, I have to assess this and break this down. So that's why I'm like, right, tell you what I need you to do. It's super simple. Let me explain it to you. Then I've got to go through the story. So we're gonna do this thing. It's gonna be a little bit like the Haribo adverts, where like you're bringing out the child within. I want to get a like really fast, fun, energetic sort of vibe. And you know, thinking back to when you were a kid and you had cars and you were like, I'm having to do all this. And I'm not doing that once. I'm having to do that every time. And if you see in a video, there's maybe 25 people involved throughout the day who are taking part in this. I've had to do this pitch to every single person. In a perfect world, we just gather them all together. I give the pitch once, then it'll all be fine. But people are doing shit. And I'm having to pitch this constantly and quickly. And I've got to get them on board. It's kind of get that balance right between like, get them enthusiastic, but don't overwhelm them. And then it's like a lot of people management required to work out who wants to do it, who can. Just some people naturally are fine. Some people hate being, a lot of people hate being on camera. And there is this expectation at the moment from I guess the world, from business, from social media, that everybody should be on camera all the time. And it's just not the case. So that is a real tricky side of this job. But all in all, I think this went really, really well. Let's give it a quick playthrough.
What'd you get?
I got a car. What'd you get?
I got a car too.
Yes.
Can I play too?
Have you tried one of these?
That was it. That was 2 days. That's what that took. You know, there was a bit of planning prior to that, but all in all, it was 2 days. I like that sort of stuff. It's like, you know, yeah, they are rough around the edges, but the thing with this sort of stuff is there's a lot of internet content that just needs to be done quickly and efficiently and effectively. Get out there on the internet. Because while big Christmas ads are amazing for huge companies with massive budgets, there's also loads of smaller, localized places that want to have a bit of fun with that stuff, that want to be able to create that stuff. You know, and I think there is a place there for quick, fast cut, achievable content for smaller businesses like that can be done by 1 or 2 people.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, drop me a message on Instagram, and catch you in the next video.